Turritopsis dohrnii, the immortal jellyfish. Picture the Benjamin Button of the ocean, except it's the size of your pinky nail and made entirely of jelly. This species doesn't just live long, it's capable of reversing its age entirely. When injured, starving, or stressed, Turritopsis dohrnii activates a process called cellular transdifferentiation. That's science speak for rebooting your body from scratch. Every cell in its body reverts to a stem cell-like state, and it literally transforms back into its younger self, the polyp stage, ready to start life all over again. And it can do this over and over. In theory, it could live forever, unless it gets eaten by something bigger, which, unfortunately, happens a lot. Immortality is great, until your lunch. Scientists are obsessed with this jellyfish because if we understood this process, we might one day slow down or even reverse human aging. But considering it spent millions of years quietly doing this while we're still figuring out how to keep houseplants alive, it might be way ahead of us. Greenland shark? If Davy Jones had a pet shark, this would be it. The Greenland shark lives in icy Arctic waters and can reach 500 years old. Some individuals swimming today were alive during the reign of Henry VIII. Imagine being a shark that's been around longer than the telescope. They grow incredibly slowly, about 1 centimeter per year, and reach lengths of up to 23 feet. Scientists figured out their age by dating proteins in their eye lenses, which form before birth and don't change after. Basically, the shark's eyes hold a permanent born-on date. They don't reach sexual maturity until they're 150, which means a Greenland shark's teen phase lasts longer than human civilization has had electricity. The cold water keeps their metabolism slow, their cells protected, and predators scarce. And because they move so slowly, we're talking Sunday stroll after a big lunch slow. They've been spotted eating already dead animals, like polar bears or moose that fell into the water. When you've got 400 years to kill, you can take your time with dinner. Ruffey rockfish. These deep-dwelling Pacific fish are basically the Gandalf of the sea. Wise, unhurried, and unbothered by time. They can live up to 205 years, spending most of their lives hanging out near rocky seafloor slopes at depths up to 2,500 feet. Down there, it's dark, cold, and calm, the kind of environment where life just slows down. Scientists think their extreme lifespan comes from 3 things: cold water, slow metabolism, and insanely good DNA repair systems. Their cells don't accumulate damage as quickly, meaning their bodies stay in working order far longer than ours. They also reproduce for much of their lives, meaning even at 150 years old, they're still contributing to the next generation. Longevity and productivity? Show-offs. All right, I will be posting more videos here, so slam that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. This helps us to rank better in the YouTube algorithm. Aldabra and Galapagos giant tortoises. If you've ever looked at a giant tortoise and thought, that thing looks like it's seen empires rise and fall, you're probably right. The Aldabra giant tortoise can live over 250 years, and the Galapagos giant tortoise isn't far behind. One Aldabra tortoise, Adwaita, supposedly hatched around 1750 and lived until 2006, meaning it was around before the United States even existed. Their strategy for longevity is simple: live slow, live protected, with tough shells, almost no predators, and metabolism so slow they can go a year without food if they need to. They avoid the wear and tear that takes most animals down. The Galapagos tortoises also have unique genes linked to cell repair and immune response, basically, built-in anti-aging code. And the Aldabra tortoise? It lives on an atoll in the Indian Ocean, where the most stressful thing it deals with is the occasional coconut. Ocean quahog. Ming the clam. The ocean quahog is basically a living tree stump, slow-growing, hard-shelled, and ancient. The most famous example, nicknamed Ming, lived to be 507 years old before scientists accidentally killed it while studying it. These clams grow in cold, stable environments, burying themselves in the seabed and filtering water for food. Their shells have growth rings like trees, so scientists can count them to find their age. When Ming was born, the Ming dynasty in China was still going strong. While humans went through the Renaissance, the Industrial Revolution, and 2 world wars, Ming just sat in the sand, quietly outliving everyone. Antarctic glass sponge. The Antarctic glass sponge is like something from an alien planet. It's made of silica, grows painfully slow, and can live up to 15,000 years. Yes, 15,000. That's older than the pyramids, older than agriculture, older than pretty much anything humans have built. They live in some of the coldest, most stable waters on Earth. At those temperatures, their metabolism slows to almost nothing, and growth happens at a microscopic pace. They're basically the definition of, if nothing happens to you, nothing happens to you. Red Sea urchin. The Red Sea urchin looks like an underwater weapon, but it's more of a Zen master than a warrior. Found along the Pacific coast, it can live over 200 years, and it doesn't seem to age in the way most animals do. They keep reproducing into old age, and they can regrow lost spines and repair damaged tissue like it's no big deal. Scientists have found individuals that are centuries old, still actively spawning. The reason? They keep cellular turnover at youthful levels their whole life, avoiding the slow breakdown of tissues that most creatures face. Hydra. Hydra are small freshwater animals, and they might be the closest thing we have to a truly immortal animal. They have an endless supply of stem cells that keep replacing old tissue, and they show no signs of aging in lab studies. They can regenerate from tiny fragments, cut one in half, and now you have 2 hydras. The only catch? They're small and fragile, so they're constantly eaten by fish, insects, or other predators. In nature, immortality only works if nothing bigger than you notices you. Bowhead whale. The bowhead whale is an Arctic heavyweight that can live over 200 years, making it the longest-lived mammal. Some have been found with stone harpoon tips embedded in them from the 1800s, meaning they survived being hunted more than a century ago and kept swimming. Their cold water lifestyle slows down their metabolism, and their DNA repair systems are top tier, probably to prevent cancer in such a huge body. Bowheads also have extra copies of genes related to cell cycle regulation, nature's way of saying, let's keep this thing running as long as possible. Lobsters. Lobsters have something we don't, telomerase, an enzyme that keeps the ends of their DNA from fraying. In most animals, those ends shorten over time, leading to aging. In lobsters, they keep getting repaired, meaning their cells can keep dividing without the usual age-related slowdown. They keep growing bigger throughout their lives, and they don't seem to lose reproductive ability with age. In theory, if nothing eats them and they avoid disease, they could live for centuries. The problem? Humans really like eating lobster. Lake Baikal sponges. Living in the deepest freshwater lake in the world, some Lake Baikal sponges are estimated to be over 2,000 years old. They grow slowly, filter feeding in cold, nutrient-rich water, and face almost no threats. Their stable environment and lack of predators let them just keep existing. Koi fish Hanako. Hanako, a koi from Japan, lived to be 226 years old before dying in 1977. Age was measured by counting rings in her scales, just like with trees. She spent her entire life in a calm pond in Japan, protected from predators and with clean, fresh water. Koi can live for centuries under the right conditions, and they seem to get more beautiful with age, unlike most of us. If you've watched to this point, slam that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. This helps us to rank better in the YouTube algorithm.